Akbar's Kazan is synonymous with the Gagarin Cup. Alexei Morozov and Denis Zaripov are normal for us. We're used to hearing their names every day. Akbar's is a true symbol of the Continental Hockey League. This is the club that won the Gagarin Cup for the first 2 seasons of the league. But this club is starting to forget what champagne tastes like. Akbar's is the Detroit Red Wings of the KHL, if you like. While other teams swap coaches and sign players in bundles just to trade them soon after, Akbar's is following its own path. Every single player signing with Akbar's is chosen very carefully. And the only reason for Akbar's to get a new coach was because his predecessor was named the coach of Team Russia. Back in the day, it was impossible to imagine the Red Wings without Thomas Holmstrom, Nicklas Lidstrom, Henrik Zetterberg, Johan Franzen. Now Akbar's is unimaginable without Alexei Morozov, Denis Zaripov, Ilya Nikulin, and Alexei Terashenko. This season, Akbar's once again tops the Eastern Conference, which is a greater achievement when you take into consideration the fact that Akbar's signed one player during the NHL lockout, Alexei Yamelin. A common joke in Kazan is that just like in ancient Sparta, every Tatar boy who isn't fit to play for Akbar's is thrown in Nizhnekamsk. It's nothing but a joke, but there's something to it. Even though Neftekhimik doesn't have stars like Morozov, Nikulin, and Zaripov, they're still a tough team to play against. Last season, Brandon Bachensky of Boris Astana led the KHL in goal scoring with 27 goals. Neftekhimik's own Maxim Pastushko scored 24 goals last season. This season, defenseman Renat Mamashev topped the league in points amongst defensemen. He's the one who represented Neftekhimik at the All-Star game in Chelyabinsk. Akbar's is the definition of power. However, Neftekhimik is not the kind of team you beat for a warm-up. When it comes to Akbar's, most people talk about Morozov and Zaripov, completely disregarding the club's defense. Here's a fun fact: no other KHL team has gotten more points this season from their defense than Akbar's. Ilya Nikulin, Konstantin Korneyev, Evgeny Medvedev, and Denis Kulyash have racked up 88 combined points. Interestingly enough, Medvedev scored a goal of the season candidate in the game against Neftekhimik. One other very important factor of this series is going to be a goaltending duel between Konstantin Barulin and Maxim Sokolov. Sokolov was the best goalie in Russia when Alexei Morozov was still with the Pittsburgh Penguins. He didn't get ice time in SKA, so he asked for a trade to Tractor. He came back to SKA only to find out the club still doesn't see him as a number 1 netminder. It was then when Sokolov decided to sign with Neftekhimik. Sokolov is a legend of Russian hockey. A legend that still wants to play. He still has some battle left in him.
Соколов. Макс Соколов. Хорошая передача. Бросок Соколов в шикарном шпагате справляется с броском Торсона. Макс, ты лучший.
Yes, the Morozov-Zaripov duo is the team's identity. However, this season, Akbar's managed to get 3 duos going for them. Aside from Morozov and Zaripov, there's Pesonen Imanen and Zherdev Petrov. In other words, no matter what line is out there for Akbar's, they're terrifyingly good. In boxing, there's a 1-2 punch. Akbar's has a 1-2-3 punch. We're used to calling Akbar's Bilyaletinov's team, but since he's been named the coach for Team Russia, the team he has built hasn't gone through a lot of changes. Despite having many stars on the roster, Akbar's remains a team as a whole, where every player can be replaced. However, if there's one player on Akbar's who they can't afford to lose, it's Konstantin Barulin. Why else do you think he played 43 out of 54 games this season? Why else do you think he was called up to the All-Star game? Why else do you think he stopped 94 shots in the last 2 games of the regular season? He is an important part of modern Team Russia, and he will go head-to-head with Maxim Sokolov, an important part of Team Russia from a recent past. It will be Maxim Pastushko's job to beat Barulin. A product of Neftekhimik's junior school, he is now the team's captain. He very well may be one of the most underrated players in the KHL. He is not talked about, he is not written about, yet he has 150 points in 230 KHL games. Pastushko always has his hands working for him. He's one of the most skilled players in the league. The Battle of Tatarstan has been an amazing part of Russian hockey for many years now. And if it was obvious in the past who would come out on top, this season's gotten a little bit more complicated. The Battle of Tatарstан is one of those local battles that is closely followed by the entire nation.
Готов терпеть все, что угодно, чтобы стать чемпионом.